Welcome to Fireside Giants, my friends. Immediately after the Giants' first Buccaneer games Monday night, I gotta say, I have so many things to say. First and foremost, we had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. We had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. What I just watched was a reenactment of the Big Apple Circus. What I just watched was Jason Garrett putting together one of the most boring and lackluster offensive strategies I have ever seen. What I just watched was Daniel Jones making a couple of boneheaded plays. What I just watched was the offensive line making Swiss cheese look good. Okay? I'm embarrassed to be a Giants fan right now. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot for me to get to a negative point. The Giants have broken me. I feel like I've just been broken straight up. I've tried to be optimistic. I've tried to be positive. I've tried to have the players' backs, and they just find ways to throw it right back into my face every single time I try to be positive about somebody. I am so done with the lack of effort. I'm so done with the lack of execution. Saquon Barkley at the end there has a nice run, picks up a first down, and Darius Slayton blocking the back penalty. Joe Judge, all the guy does is talk about discipline. All he does is, I saw positives. We're going to turn it over in the next game. What I saw tonight was a team that did not care. What I saw tonight was Andrew Thomas had the same amount of receptions today as Kenny Golladay. Andrew Thomas has more touchdown receptions than Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney combined this season. If John Mara has the absolute balls to stand up in his freaking box seats, look down at this team and think to himself, we're going somewhere, we're going to be okay, that guy must have 14 different type of diseases plaguing his brain, okay? He has to understand his team is the worst in the NFL. Okay, the Detroit Lions are really bad, but even they put out more effort than that on a weekly basis. Even they score more points than the Giants do at times. You know what I mean? This team just embarrassed their entire organization, all of their fans, themselves on national television to the point where Tom Brady at the end of the game is walking around like he just beat the shit out of a high school team, and they're all coming up to him like, hey, can I have a picture, Tom? It was picture day for Tom Brady. It was a scrimmage. The Giants are a get-right team for good teams that are looking to change their trend, right? The Buccaneers coming off 2 losses, getting beaten by Washington pretty handily, and then they come to play the Giants, and it's a get-right game for them. The Chiefs, get-right game for the Chiefs. This is what is becoming an absolute plague. I have no more empathy for them. I have no more sympathy for them. John Mara needs to make a change, or else somebody's got to find a way to get the hell John Mara out of there. The NFL's got to force, it's got to sell the team. I am beyond words, Anthony. I mean, I know your reaction already, but like, what was the most disappointing part of this game for you? Just absolutely knowing that this game was over before the fourth quarter even started, because I thought there was 2 minutes left in the game, and there was a whole quarter left, and I was like, we already lost this game. There's no way we're winning this game. They were already just running the ball and doing whatever they wanted.
Yeah, my feelings and thoughts towards this game are more of a long-term thought and feeling of despair and hopelessness towards the Giants in general, right? Because this is kind of one of those things where, yeah, I know we picked up some wins in recent weeks. You guys can't even lie to me and say that those wins felt like wins that, from years ago. Like, they just don't feel the same anymore. And the losses, I feel so numb to them now. I really do. I'm so used to it. The Giants are playing the Bucs. I know we want to be optimistic. We want to be hopeful. You guys heard me in the pregame live stream. I said we're losing 35-20. And you know what? We lost 30-10. So I was close enough. I put a little bit too much faith into the Giants offense to make some plays happen. But, one of the things when you're watching a bad football team, the only way that they score points is on trick plays. And the Giants are only scoring points and moving the ball when using trick plays. Like, they're just a bad football team, Like, if you're a good offense, a good, competent offense in the NFL, you're going to make plays through a good scheme and through talent. Not because you're tricking the other team into thinking, that you're doing one thing and you're doing another that no team does, right? Like, trick plays do not equal a good football team. That's really the main crux of the Giants right now. When you watch this team, when you watch this offense, They're only moving the ball. They're only scoring points when it's coming off of trick plays. And that's really scary considering, just like you mentioned, Alex, they had 2 weeks to prepare. They had a full bye week to prepare for this. They had an extra day because this is a Monday night game for this week. They had all of the time in the world to do the scripting that we mentioned in the pregame live stream, to script together some good drives, to come up with some new play calls. I mean, they got their left tackle back. Sure, he caught a touchdown pass. That was freaking hilarious and awesome. However, the offensive line was still abysmal. And they still just don't know how to dial up deep passing plays behind this bad offensive line, despite the fact that, listen, guys, I mean, Russell Wilson has had one of the highest average depth of targets throughout the entirety of his NFL career, despite having one of the worst offensive lines in front of him throughout the entirety of his NFL career. It's not purely based on the fact that the Giants don't have offensive line talent as to why they're not pushing the ball downfield. There are other factors at play. It is not just the offensive line, okay? It is the quarterback. It is the offensive coordinator, the play calling, and honestly probably has something to do with the playmakers as well. Even though I think that the Giants have a bunch of talented playmakers, there's something wrong where they're not getting the ball, and honestly, it falls onto the shoulders of the quarterback and the offensive coordinator combined. Just in general, this whole entire offense, and really, you want to bring it back to the top? Let's go to Joe Judge. Let's go to the extremely conservative game plan that the Giants play with week after week. We've talked about this so many weeks, but we got to bring it up again because it came back to bite the Giants once again. 4th and 5. You're on the other side of the 50-yard line. You punt. Why? This is not a field position game. You are not playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and beating them through field position. You're beating them through scoring points. That's the only way you beat the Buccaneers. And then that stuff at the end of the first half. What were they doing? They were milking the clock, but they're calling a timeout. You pick one or the other. You either kneeing it and going into halftime, or you're calling timeouts while trying to push the ball downfield. You're not throwing a dumb screen pass and then also simultaneously trying to push the ball downfield. I just don't understand the identity of this team. I don't understand anything about this team right now. And again, tying it back into what I was saying in the beginning, these losses are watching the Giants is not what it once used to be, and it's really just disappointing and disheartening to continue to watch this team week after week and hoping for a change and never receiving one.
I just have like anger just in the pit of my heart right now. Just in the middle of my heart is a ball of furious, red hot anger toward Dave Gettleman, John Mara, Jason Garrett, Joe Judge. I just don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? I just feels like I'm emotional, dude. And I can't just I get numb to the losing, but I feel it still, man. Like I feel these losses every single week because every single one of these losses tells us how much more screwed we really are. That's why it hurts so much. It's not like we lost a couple of games and we're going somewhere. We're losing most games. We're getting blown out against teams. We're getting embarrassed on national television. Like we're losing games that are showing us that we are a lot farther off than we need to be. You know what I mean? We're 4 years into the rebuild, guys. 40 years, and we've gotten worse. We are worse than when we started, right? The offensive line is awful. Daniel Jones is making ridiculous plays. Like I can't even stand behind the guy anymore. Like I really want to sit here and tell you that, Daniel Jones has it all. They just need this, they need that. But by the time the Giants actually get that for him, his rookie deal is going to be over, and then you have to reset anyway. Then you just have to go and find the quarterback to inject into a team that's already built and ready for a quarterback, which is probably what the Giants are going to have to do, right?
And I also have to point out that Daniel Jones, yes, everything you're saying, sure. You plug a new quarterback in or you plug him into a new system. Daniel Jones did not play well tonight. Like, bottom line, he did not play a good football game. He did not look like that franchise quarterback that we're hoping for him to prove to be, right? He doesn't look like that. And the Giants are sitting with 2 top 10 first-round picks next April. This is something that we have to seriously consider. We do have to seriously consider this, right? Because, listen, Daniel Jones, I want him to be the guy. I want him to be the guy way more than many of you do, okay? I really want to see Daniel Jones succeed. However, it just doesn't seem to be working out. And sure, a few weeks ago, I said it looks like it is working out. I said it looks like it's going to work out. Look, at this point, I don't know. I just...
He's shell-shocked. The guy has
Yeah,
seen so many players, so many defenders in his face almost instantaneously. He is shell shocked. He is like Eli Manning in the last couple of years of his career. He's never going to bounce back from
yeah.
this ever, ever. He has been
That's part of
tortured.
it. That's part of Alex, absolutely. And the offensive line has completely derailed his career and damaged his playing ability. But again, I did mention, and I understand Russell Wilson is his own particular elite talent himself, but there are quarterbacks that get faced with pressure, operate through it, and still find ways to make plays. Daniel Jones is not proving to be that guy. So he is not the right quarterback for the Giants because they are not the right situation for him. Like that's basically
Yeah.
borderline. That's
He's not
it,
an elite
right?
quarterback. He never was
If
going to be.
Daniel Jones, listen, if Daniel Jones stepped in the situation that Mac Jones is in, you're probably seeing Mac Jones and Daniel Jones interchangeably, right? If Mac Jones is on the Giants right now, he's probably playing just as well as Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is on the Patriots, I think he's playing just as well as Mac Jones, okay? But because Daniel Jones is on the Giants and Mac Jones is on the Patriots, you're seeing two stark differences. You're seeing a quarterback with no help, no offensive line, and also not the right playing style for the scheme that's being played in New York. And then you're seeing a quarterback with a team with one of the greatest coaches of all time, sure, one of the greatest offensive coordinators of all time, sure, but a team that knows how to scheme around him, knows how to put talent around him to maximize his playing style and his strengths and weaknesses. That's what you have with the Patriots and Mac Jones, what the Giants have with Daniel Jones.
When I look at Daniel Jones at this moment, I see a quarterback that simply isn't reading the field correctly. On that first drive of the game, he just didn't look like he was seeing the field. He missed a wide open Kadarius Toney, wide open on the seam route on the left side, and then he missed a wide open Kenny Galladay on a slant right the play after that. He just isn't seeing the field well. I think the pressure has just made him move through his reads, progress through his reads at such a fast pace. He's missing a lot of the open receivers he has. I don't know if he's ever going to correct this. I really don't. I don't think that it's something that's going to be solved overnight. This is a habit he's developed from bad offensive line play. The Giants have found themselves in a position where they really they need to figure out a solution in the trenches, and it starts with Dave Gettleman being launched to the fucking moon. Okay, that's what it starts with. It starts with him being launched so far into space. There is no chance that an alien is going to gather him up and bring him back because he got lost. Okay, they need to shoot him beyond the universes, beyond the galaxy. It's killing me inside. To be a Giants fan right now, I know a lot of you older folk have seen some of the worst times in the past with the Dave Browns and the bad eras, but this might be the worst one of all. And I'd really love to hear if that's true. Let me know in the YouTube comments what you think, because this feels like hell. Football hell. This feels like we are the Browns. We are legitimately the new Browns. And I don't know what to do anymore, right? I don't trust Joe Judge. I don't. Jason Garrett, for goodness sakes, send that ginger snap wherever he came from. That man is so bad at his job. I cannot believe the Giants still have that man employed on the salary. He should be a volunteer. They should make sure that guy's key card does not work when he gets to work on Monday or Tuesday, rather. He is so, I mean, come on. We're talking about a guy who was running halfback. Like there was a play where John Ross couldn't figure out where to go. He was like running in circles trying to figure out where to stand. Going in motion, doing all this, just for them to run a halfback dive in the third quarter down 2 possessions. Like on second down, like for goodness sakes, the inefficiency of this man, the gall this man possesses to put forth a scheme that most middle schoolers would look at and say, you have to be in preschool. You have to. I mean, that guy must be getting bullied. He must have been bullied, man, for all the stuff for the scheme that he is putting together. I mean, there is no discipline. There's no execution. There is nothing here that like promotes any sort of optimism anymore. They have broken me. And you guys know, I'm a very optimistic fan. I try my best to be positive whenever I can. They have broken me, which is almost impossible to do, which should give you a pretty good idea of how screwed this team really is. We are 2 years away. In best case scenario, we are 2 years away from being an average team drafting in the 20 range. Okay? 2 years away, best case scenario. It starts with a new GM. It starts with a new offensive coordinator. It might even start with a new head coach. And, for all intents and purposes, Daniel Jones, if he doesn't, we're paying him next year. You pick up his 5th-year option, $20 million 5th-year option. We are strapped for cash. You know what I mean? Like, this is a really bad situation we're in, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm really trying here to.
I will say there is one seeming saving grace. There's one thing that I am holding on to as a Giants fan right now. It is having 2 top 10 picks potentially in this
That's
upcoming
what it
draft.
is every year, man. Every year we're looking ahead. By before
Well,
December, we know the season's over. It's ridiculous. I'm
I
done with
understand.
it.
I'm not happy about that. It is painful. I hate looking ahead to the draft in November, but this year the Giants have 2 first round picks. Does make me a little extra excited. I was excited for it regardless of where the Giants are going this year, just because we have an additional first round pick. But now, if we're talking about blowing it up, we're talking about finding a new GM and having 2 first round picks for him to step into. You're talking about a much more exciting, like, dawn of a new era, compared to what Dave Gettleman stepped into. I mean, Dave Gettleman honestly probably had a better situation than what he let us believe he did. And then he really did not do much with it. And the Giants are in the situation that they're in because of Dave Gettleman. However, a new GM might come into the situation, might make the most of it. 2 first round picks, turn things around. Could be a bright future ahead. Not saying it will be. I'm trying to be the optimist here because, Alex, you're usually the optimist. You're very pessimistic right now. I'm usually the
Broken.
pessimistic one. So I got to
Broken.
try and pick you up when you're down. That's what we do here on Fireside Giants. So trying to pick
Let
you up
me
right
let
now.
me misery loves company, man. Just let me fester in this
Fair
this
enough. I'll
pot of
fester in it with you
awfulness.
if you want, man. You know that. You know I've got plenty of negative, awful things to say about this New York Giants team. I could go on and on for days, but I will say, guys, hopefully the light will be at the end of the tunnel soon enough. Trust me,
It
those
depends
2
who's
first round
drafting, man.
picks, if those
It
are
depends who's
drafted by a
drafting.
new and competent GM, those
We'll
2
have
first
Aiden
round picks
Hutchinson
could be
and a great offensive lineman. That is,
so
if we get Aiden
right.
Hutchinson and a great offensive lineman, we are going somewhere. If we have a GM that comes in here and makes 2 like freaking the Raiders making wild picks that no one understands, if we go that direction, we are in big trouble. I don't know who we can trust anymore. That's the thing. I don't know who to trust. But guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I don't have much more to say. We all know how we're feeling right now. It's not good. It's failure. I feel embarrassed to be a Giants fan. And it really takes a lot for me to say that because I love my Giants. You guys know that. We are huge Giants fans. And for us to be broken like this, man, it takes a lot of beating. They've beaten down on us like just over and over again. We're like freaking drums at this point. But make sure to have a great rest of your night. Get some sleep. Don't let this worry you. Until next year, we'll be doing draft prep. We'll last the rest of the season. Hopefully, we'll see some positives from the young guys. At this point, let's just get those young guys, those draft picks in 2020, 21, some action, get them some reps, get them some experience, and hopefully roll that over to next year.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're talking about the young guys. We're talking about the way this offensive line played. It's time, man. Just let Matt Peart play, please. I'm sick of Nate Solder. And also, Will Hernandez. Oh my God, what an atrocious game he just had.
That was the worst
Let me
game I've
s-
ever seen him
let
play.
me
It was
let me see like anyone else out there in the next one. Screw it, guys. Let's see Isaiah Wilson get a crack at right guard if we have to.
Seriously.
Like,
It was that
yeah,
bad.
it
The
was.
season's
It
over.
was
He's
that
gone.
bad.
We're not resigning him. Like he's gone.
This is
He's
the
gone.
game that ended like officially his Giants career, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it not only did it end his career in the Giants, but this game ended a lot of careers with the Giants, man. It ended a Jason Garrett's tenure with the Giants, ended Dave Gettleman's for sure if it wasn't already over. Ended Will Hernandez, ended a Matt Skura, ended a Billy Price's. Half this ended Evan Ingram's, ended half this team's careers with the Giants. This one game. That's personally how I feel. But guys, make sure to subscribe. We'll be doing this every day. If you want to suffer along with us, I know you guys are the diehards out there. If you want to come along for the ride, we're not going anywhere. We're going to last this out until things get better. And when they do, we will remember these days. We will remember and reflect on the pain and misery they put us through so that we can really enjoy the golden age once again. But make sure to subscribe so you can partake in that journey with us and have a great night. And we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.